the beginning of the year. Companies are firing back up their hiring processes and their recruiting teams. And a lot of you are going to find yourself in interview situations, which is amazing. And congratulations. And I want to talk about how you can build rapport really quickly in an interview by being like a super engager. The way that this happens is if you have the skill to ask questions in the middle of an interview rather than waiting for the end when they open that, if you even have time and they open the door for you to ask some questions. If you can squeeze those in during the interview process, now all of a sudden it's a conversation and it's much more engaging, and you can build a rapport and you can build a relationship during the interview process instead of waiting until the last few minutes. Okay, so let's talk about what this looks like when it comes to you speaking about your strengths. And that's probably going to come across in a series of questions that they're asking about behavioral examples. And they're going to be leading you down a path because they're going to want to know that you have the skills that they need to succeed in this role. So, for instance, if they continue asking you or ask you several times about your ability to influence others, or tell me about a time you've had to convince people to do something, or you've had to work with a leader who disagreed with you, that's a time after you answer the question that you can say, well, let me ask you, are those skills that are going to be really important to have in this role? Are those skills that are going to be critical for me to succeed in this role? I am getting the sense that you're coming back to these. Talk to me about why those are such important skills. And then they're going to open up and be like, well, actually, yes, those are going to be really important. And maybe they'll even say, we've had people in the past who were not strong and they really struggled because XYZ. Another chance for you to work in a question during the interview is when they might ask you about your aspirations. Where do you see yourself going in your career, or where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years? And really, what they're getting to is, do you see yourself here for an extended period of time? They're trying to get a sense for, is this person going to be committed and want to grow with us? Which is great because that's the perfect lead in for you to then flip to a question that says, well, talk to me about what career development looks like at this company. Is it a formal process that's led by HR, or does it vary greatly from one leader to another? What would I expect on that front? Now, if you find in the interview process that they continue to talk about stakeholders, how you work with them, how you influence them, how you partner with them, things like that, there's probably something going on there that you might want to dig into a little bit more. They might have some difficult stakeholders, like internally across internal departments. Maybe there's a silo kind of approach to the way that they work, and it's something that they struggle with, or maybe they just haven't had people who are strong relationship builders in the past. So if you find that stakeholder relationships keep coming up, it's a great chance for you to say, hey, I'm curious if I can just get your thoughts before we move on to the next question. I'm wondering if it's the same at every company. How would you categorize your key stakeholder relationships? Who's the best, most supportive partner that you work with, internally or externally? And who is the one that really requires some special skills, or demands a little bit more of your time and energy? Like, kind of where are they on this spectrum of from supportive to difficult? And I mean, people love to talk about their own situations, and there might be a story there that they are willing to share or open up about that gives you some more background on the role that would be helpful for future interviews should you make it to that point. So yeah, I think it's really important that you are calm and relaxed enough in the interview process that you can really understand and pick up on cues, pick up on themes that are coming up when they're asking you, not just that you're being more transactional and here's the question, I got to answer that question. Here's the next question, I got to answer that question. But if you can really take a step back and listen and hear what they're looking for, there are several opportunities to dig into why that might be, which will serve you very well as you sell your skills and your abilities to be a great fit in that role.